both have been pretty awesome. I mean, we saw TCU last couple of years in basketball. They really stepped their game up on that side of it. So you can see both the bigger schools now trying to improve both sides here. It's just too much money not to. So congratulations to Kansas, my man. Anything else?
Yeah, definitely. Besides Kansas and the OU talk, I also think West Virginia and TCU are going to be battling it out to face OU in the Big 12 championship. That's a quick little prediction. But one team that has question marks written all over it, still all over the town, even after that big win they had against USC on Saturday night, and that's Texas. We're really about to find out who they are this weekend as TCU's heading down to Austin to take them on. And TCU's coming off that loss against Ohio State, but the last, 4 years, TCU has had Texas number, it's not even close. So I'm really looking forward to that game just to see where Texas is at this point. And then after that, it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Texas really, after that Maryland loss, everyone's future bets just went to hell, right? Mostly, unless, of course, they run the table. At least they beat SC pretty good. Now they have a tough game against TCU here. And
yeah, it's just confusing with this team because I feel like, living down here in Texas, every year is Texas back. It's Texas back. And, USC could end up being a 7-5 team for all we know with that young quarterback over there. And but I just think, like I said, they played down to their opponent. They lost to Maryland. Then they struggled with Tulsa towards the end of the game. The final score of that game was 28-21. But then they come out and smash, USC, who's 10 times better athletes than Maryland and Tulsa. So where are we going to see this weekend?
Well, yeah, USC, thank God they're young, I guess, and Texas was a huge revenge spot. That's why we took the -3 last week and ended up, there was no sweat in that game whatsoever, man. So I always like it when you're not sweating it out, and Texas definitely took care of business. But are they going to let down at home? We shall see, my friend, and that moves us right into one of your first picks here. Why don't we go right to that TCU Texas game? Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this is honestly probably my favorite free play of the week is we took TCU -3 already, and I already see it at 3.5 at some places, and I think it'll just continue to go up from there a little bit. Like I said, Texas has the momentum coming into this game. They do with that USC win, and TCU hung around with Ohio State for 3/4 of the game on with their game against Ohio State on Saturday night. And, a couple of mishaps, the block punt and then the interception pitch, just took them right out of the game. But they know what's at stake now. They know that's not a Big 12 game. They're looking to come out and prove a point with their offense this weekend against that good Texas defense. So that's going to be a fun matchup. And I think my power numbers have it at TCU -5, but it's just in a tricky spot. I don't know where Texas is, but I'm definitely laying the TCU -3.
So you probably like it to -5, 5.5 is what I'm
guessing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because, and I see this thing going up to -5, -5.5 too, because everyone's just going to remember the Maryland loss and, and then TCU, they played Ohio State tough. Everyone watched that game and they were up at halftime. But if you look into the score, they had that 93-yard run, and that's one of the reasons why we bought back on Ohio State there. But Texas next year, these guys are still going to be playing there. I think TCU is just going to get better and better, which is scary. And I guess the coaching advantage is to TCU right now, but I love Tom Herman, but he hasn't proved himself yet. Right, a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. With Sean Robinson, I'm usually a doubter with TCU teams coming in each year, but I've watched them each week this year, as long as also with Texas. But I really like this TCU team, man. They're scrappy on defense for a Big 12 defense, and but they have a lot of speed all over the field with Turpin, Johnson, all these guys. So it's going to be a very fun game on Saturday.
Yeah, I might even look at an under on this one as well. I don't know where it's currently at. I can quick pull it up here and see where that thing was at. I would guess like 47 and a half. What do you know? And
yeah, they both got good defenses for Big 12, so that's not a bad look.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it and see if it gets bet up a little bit. I'm going to put it through my my little formula as well. See where it comes up. I mean, you're looking at Texas, and they averaged 31.3 points a game, but they played Tulsa, Maryland, and USC, right? And USC was on a down year. Now they're playing a tougher TCU team. Their defense is holding people to 5.1 yards per play, 23 points a game, while you have TCU holding people to 19.7 points a game, and that's counting that Ohio State. Of course they only played SMU and some tomato can, but this defense is kind of still continuing on from last year a little bit. So this is going to be one of those fought games, I think, in the trenches, and then it might be a low scoring game. So I'm kind of going to look at towards the under there. So moving on, let's get right into a team you were right on, West Virginia. They're laying 16 points this week, and let's talk a little bit about that game.
Well, right when I saw this game, I thought, wow, West Virginia minus 16 against Kansas State, like, a Big 12, a Big 12 conference game to start out the year. And I thought about it, but West Virginia is having 2 weeks to prepare for this game with their game canceled last weekend, which I was really looking forward to against NC State. That really would have showed me where they're at.
Right.
Yeah, but this isn't the same Kansas State team this year. I feel like, I just feel like they don't have the same defense. They don't have the same quarterbacks. They don't have the same running backs. So I'm liking West Virginia a lot. I already went ahead and laid the 16. I like it up to 17 and a half. So I felt like there's a little bit of value there with them, getting 2 weeks to prepare. And for them, we already know about their potent high scoring offense. So.
Yeah, they held Tennessee to 14 points. I know it's Tennessee in complete rebuild mode, but that says something here. I wanted to see that NC State game as well. I was bummed out that we couldn't see that. That was going to be key, kind of to where I can kind of place the Big 12. And NC State's not. I'm not sure if they're as good as they are from last year, but at least would have kind of told me something where they can kind of compare to the ACC. So definitely agree with you. Schneider, he sneaks up on you, man, doesn't he? I mean, he's a lot better, though, Bill Schneider, at home than he is on the road. Now, didn't show that well against Mississippi State, but you're playing a tough West Virginia team. They're on a mission this year. I can definitely see possible 17 points here. So liking what you're doing there. So what's the next one you want to get into?
The no playing defense, Texas Tech versus Oklahoma State. This is going to be an old-fashioned Big 12 shootout. I mean, the over, I thought it would come out. My numbers had it coming out to 79.5 or so. We hit it early we took the over for 78. And, I mean, everybody should probably know by now, Big 12 defense isn't the best. And with these two offenses who Texas Tech, I think, might have found a pretty good quarterback down there. And Oklahoma State's still trying to prove a point, with Justice Hill and their new quarterback. So that's also going to be a real high-flying shootout of a game. I definitely can see it, like a 52-45 type game again, like how U of H and Tech just played on Saturday, and that was a 56-42 type game also. Mm-hmm. So I can see just the same thing.
Yeah, Texas Tech, this is a spot that I wanted to back them on. because Oklahoma State is kind of a letdown spot. They played a top Boise State team. They had to get ready for this team. They were dogs, everyone was betting up Boise State. It opened up, them favored up 3.5, and I took the points of Boise, and then everyone started betting Boise, and it went down to where Oklahoma State was the dog, plus 2.5. So that was a big game for them. And now coming into Texas Tech here, a team that can definitely put up some points. They play extremely fast, 98 plays per game is what Texas Tech runs. Yeah. And Oklahoma State runs 79 plays per game, and that's counting last week when they ran the clock out, running only 68 plays. So Oklahoma State's going to play. So that I'm not touching the under of that. That thing can go to 90. This could be a 48 to 45 game, easily. So definitely like what you're doing there. And I can see I see this thing possibly even getting up in the 80s, but I cannot wait to watch these high flying offenses here and see where this thing goes. This is going to be a fun game. Is that a late start?
It's a 6:00 game.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a couple guys that I respect, and I was listening to them, and they were talking about early lines and stuff, and where they were going to set the line at to start, and a couple of them said 79, 80. So yeah, I definitely can see it going up to 81 or so at the closing point. Like I said, you should probably, if you're going to take it with us, you should probably take it early as possible. I mean, you saw what Texas Tech did to U of H's defense. I mean, they might not be the best defense, but I think they're better than Oklahoma State's defense.
Yeah, that game went to 109 against Houston last week, and Houston was just an average type pace team. So that's what happens when one team plays fast and they don't take the foot off the gas, and the other team keeps scoring. It snowballs, man. It just keeps going, and that's why you see these awesome college scores running up so high. People love watching it. I do too. I admit it. Of course, I do like some good defenses too in some games, but you just can't take your eyes off some of these crazy high scoring, high flying Saturday nights, right? So I can't wait to definitely sit down with some popcorn and check this game out. So the next one that you wanted to look at, looks like you're staying in Texas here. It looks like you're going, it's going to Bama, unfortunately. Texas A&M has unfortunately the bad luck to play Alabama in the SEC opener. Let's talk a little bit about what you like there.
Well, this is also another early line I took. I like this game up to 28. My numbers have it to about 28, with what Alabama's done with, Tua, or however you pronounce his name. I mean, they're dropping 50 a game. I don't see them slowing down against A&M. Like I said, though, I got it early at minus 25.5. I like it up to 28. But right now, right as I took it at 25.5 yesterday, it already shot up to 27.5. So if it gets to 28.5, there could possibly be some room for buyback, try to hit a middle number or something. But either way, I was on Alabama minus 21 last week, big, and they're not slowing down anytime soon. I mean, their defense isn't as good this year, but their offense is better than last year. So,
is there any concern that Texas A&M played Clemson so tough? They outdid them in yards, a couple turnovers, I believe, blew it for them or something, and then they end up losing 28-26. Now that's at home, right? But is there any concern for how good they played a top 5 team like Clemson?
I mean, yeah, there is. This is definitely the toughest game against that Bama's had so far. Because how Bama schedules those. The SEC actually schedules the weak teams at first. But yeah, I mean, there is a little, because Jimbo, he's always been one of my favorite coaches. He knows how to coach against Saban, but Saban obviously knows how to coach against him. And Saban knows what Jimbo's, a couple things Jimbo is going to try to throw at him. But yeah, like you said, there is a little thing that scares me, but the thing that doesn't scare me is that they're in Bama, so that home field advantage is going to be 10 times different than the 12th man in A&M.
Yeah, and